I'd like to ask you a kind of a theoretical question that I always, watching you from afar, have wanted to ask you. Do you think that government has a proper role in our private lives, or it should back off?
I suppose it depends a lot in terms of what we're talking about.
Well, marriage. Let's start with marriage.
You start with marriage. Historically, the question of regulating marriage, if you will, or defining what constitutes marriage, granting licenses for marriage has been a state function. That's always been sort of the norm. Different states do it in different fashions. And I don't have any problem with the notion that the states ought to continue to be the source of authority in that regard. I don't think we need a federal statute, for example, on marriage.
As some libertarians argue, marriage was off the table for the government, and it was just civil unions given equally to consenting adults. How would you feel about that?
Well, let's see, then you're going to go change the tax laws, because obviously that'll be affected because
in the same way.
And in terms of what constitutes marriage, and I mean I'm a pretty conservative fella. I believe in limited government, but I think there has been over the years a legitimate role for the states at the local level to regulate what constitutes marriage, and it has a certain legal status, and that's appropriate. It affects who has jurisdiction over children. I mean, it's a big set of concerns that flow out of that. Now, and from my perspective, I don't think we ought to ban, for example, gay marriage. I don't believe in that. I've argued that freedom means freedom for everyone, and if consenting adults want to marry, that's their business. There should not be a federal statute that prohibits that, or an amendment to the U.S. Constitution that prohibits that. So I would see that as a limited role for a government. It'll produce a different result in different states, but that's okay. We've got 50 states, and some want to go one way and some another, so be it.